lieutenant colonel in the Army, and I was disgusted with the things that I had to do and the deployments I had to make, in supporting some of the regimes and crap that we did. But so we've been, for a long time, we've been turning our back on that, as I know you know. But at any rate, over the weekend, the rebels, who are very short of munitions and ammunition and weapons, their ammo dump blew up, and then I was going to say, if I were the head of the CIA, that's exactly what I would want to do. We're trying to infiltrate those guys. They don't want our help, apparently. They don't want us to encroach upon what they're doing, and bless them for that. But, that way, obviously, they could come to us hat in hand, or at least be much more amenable to seeing us.
Well, could very well be, but on the other hand, again, if Israel is making money from Gaddafi to keep Gaddafi in power, there is no way that the United States, or for that matter, Great Britain, are going to oppose Israel in this. Our governments are completely subverted to Israel, and that's why we're starting to see all this hemming and hawing about, changing position. And we had Hillary Clinton was out there saying, well, a no-fly zone, really intervention is not going to solve the problem. They're basically backing away so that Israel can do what Israel wants to do in Libya. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of covert support, and I think the reason the rebels grabbed these SAS guys, do you remember when the first the war in Iraq started? Not Desert Storm, but the invasion back in 2003. And they caught these.
It was SAS in Basra.
Yeah, and they
assassinated a policeman or two and got captured, and it took a whole British brigade to break them out of the Iraqi jail.
That's exactly right. They were going around committing the acts of violence that the media was using to say, "Oh, we got to stay in Iraq. It'll be chaos if we leave now."
Dressed as Arabs.
Dressed as Arabs with a car full of explosives.
But Mike, if they blew this thing up, which they could easily do with a smart bomb from 40,000 feet or something, would not even be detectable, especially at night. But whatever, it plays both ends. It gets us in with the rebels who need the weapons, and it's blowing up their arms depot for Gaddafi. That's something just exactly like we do.
Yeah, that sounds like definitely a possibility. Everybody likes to play dirty. I mean, there are no rules in war. Unfortunately, there's only managing public perception. And I think the public perception right now is that people are, Americans are very much in favor of the will of the people is the law of the land. They want freedom. They want to see other countries have freedom. They want to see us all broken away from the domination and enslavement of the International Monetary Fund. Everybody's kind of on the same page on this. We're just seeing Israel and the United States and Great Britain trying to spin this, trying to deny it, trying to basically create this illusion that says whatever we wind up doing, on whichever side we wind up doing it on, is a good thing. And, the scare tactics are coming out. They're screaming about, Libya's got weapons of mass destruction, and they're going to do this, and Gaddafi's going to do that. Up in Britain, there's a scare story out there where because of the oil shortages that Britons can no longer rely on constant electricity, they're just going to have to go into this situation of rolling blackouts now, and there's only going to be electricity when you need it. And I don't know if it really means British infrastructure is in the same state as American infrastructure. It strikes me as one of these scare tactics, along with the skyrocketing oil prices, where they're trying to say is like, you can have a choice. You can either believe in human rights and freedom and dignity, or you can say blank the Arabs and just give us the cheap gas again. And the part that
Mike,
yeah,
can you tell me what you heard about the SAS people and what they're saying about that ammo dump?
What I'm hearing is that the Libyan revolutionaries suspected that the 8 SAS guys they captured were there to were involved in the ammo dump explosion. That's what they're saying on the other side, and they released them rather than give Britain an excuse to come in militarily overtly on Gaddafi's side. But they basically PNG'd the 2 diplomats and kicked them all out of the country.
Michael, also, did you see over the weekend where apparently Israel bombed a couple unfinished buildings in construction in Gaza?
Yeah, they did that. They've gone into Nablus. They've destroyed the water supply there. I mean, Israel's just, they're seeing their control over the world slip, and they're acting like spoiled children. They're just kicking over everybody else's, sand castles in a fit of pique. We got to take a break, Peter. Thank you for the call. We'll be right back.
you need help getting your child to behave? I'm behavioral therapist James Lehman, and I'm willing to give away thousands of my best-selling total transformation programs for free. All you do is tell us how the program works for you and your family. Did it turn around your child's behavior? Did the screaming and arguing stop in your home? Is he doing better in school? The total transformation has helped hundreds of thousands of families. I want to see what it can do for you, and I'm willing to let you have it for free. Just order my program. Use it with your child, then send me your feedback. I'll refund the purchase price of the program. You keep the Total Transformation Program forever, for free. You don't have to struggle with your child's bad behavior one more day, because now you can try my Total Transformation, and the program will be free.
Limited number of free programs available. Call now. 1-800-583-1093. 1-800-583-1093. That's 1-800-583-1093.
Introducing IXL Anti-Friction Metal Conditioner. IXL works at the molecular level to reduce friction by penetrating into and bonding onto the microscopic openings of the walls of ferrous-based metals. The surfaces become smoother and denser, and this reduces the heat, friction, metal expansion, and wear caused by moving metal surfaces. The benefits are reduced maintenance activities and cost, increased fuel efficiency, and prolonged equipment life. It will not clog filters, pipes, injectors, or supply lines, does not build up or accumulate upon itself as do many other additives. IXL does not contain moly, PTFE, or graphites. Also offers the tremendous benefits of being non-toxic. It's used for a friction reducer and performance enhancer in gas or diesel engines, transmissions, automatic or standard gearboxes, turbos, electric motors, outdrives, lathe, and cutting applications. Go to republicbroadcasting.org, then to our online store, or call us at 800-724-2719. That's 800-724-2719.
Don't answer it.
If fear strikes your heart when the phone rings, knowing it may be another bill collector, it's time for you to call Zero Debt in 90 days. 800-477-9256. Settlements, bankruptcy, and attorneys are not the answer and may end up costing you up to 10 times more than necessary. Listen, if you're already in debt, does it make sense to get buried in another payment plan? Zero Debt in 90 days gets you out of debt in 90 days guaranteed, without a payment plan and without attorneys or going to court. Get the fastest relief from debt on the planet when you call 800-477-9256. If you have debt with the IRS, credit cards, student loans, or a foreclosure, we can help at Zero Debt in 90 days, and we are the only organization to provide written guarantees on the results. Go to ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. That's ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. Or call now for free information. 800-477-9256. That's 800-477-9256.
What Really Happened with your host, Mike Rivero. Join Mike on the air.
Okay, we seem to be fading out early, so I'm going to come in and talk about the show here. Whoop. Okay. All right, let's just go with it. For those of you looking at my webpage, for some reason, Justin TV is not allowing me to remove the No Show Today banner until after the show is over today. And I really do not like software engineers who will create a software system and then not think about how it actually gets used in real life. And if you use Justin TV, you will find out it's a very kludgy, non-intuitive user interface. You have to hunt for half an hour to find anything that you need to do there. And I'm sure for the programmers who eat, sleep, and breathe the software, they know where it all is and it feels very, very comfortable. But for outside people who are coming in, and especially outside people paying money, okay, it's very, 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 very difficult. All right, let's get back to the story here. We're going to be talking a little bit about the economy before Claire joins us on the air. We're starting to get a lot more weird buzzwords coming out of Wall Street and Washington, D.C. The new one is biflation. Remember I said back in the past, all these words about economic downturns keep changing because they don't want you to get the negative connotations of the earlier understood words. When there was a stock market dip, they'd call it a dip, then a downturn, then a crash, then they'd called it a recession, or rather a depression. They don't want to use that word anymore, so they're calling it a recession, then double dip recession, and they keep changing the words. Okay, so The new one is biflation, because we all know that inflation is bad. Inflation is the reason gas went up 33 cents in the last 2 weeks. Got nothing to do with the Arabs and the Muslims and all the Mideast troubles. They're just being scapegoated for it. The real reason is the inflation. Every time Ben Bernanke turns on that printing press, the money in your pocket loses value. And the proof of that is very, very simple. You're also seeing your food prices explode upward in the supermarket, and the Mideast has got very, very little to do with that. Yes, there are transportation costs that go on with that, but a real big situation here is your dollars are worth less and less and less. Plus, of course, apparently, something like 40% of America's corn crop is being taken up with this forced mandated manufacture of ethanol fuel, which when you put it in your car will dissolve your fuel system. And our Xterra, which we just had a replacement engine put in because of damage caused by ethanol-based fuels, is already starting to stutter and stammer and have running issues because of the ethanol-based fuel that it was never, ever, ever designed to use. So it's just an absolute, absolute disaster. Now, last week, we saw the stock market taking a major dip, and it's continuing to do that again today. Everyone's saying, well, yes, the oil prices are driving the stock market down, but we've got this wonderful jobs report from February. Why is that not driving the stock market back up as it has done in the past? Well, the reason is very simple. We have been lied to so many times about the jobs numbers that even the optimists on Wall Street aren't listening anymore. Okay, we had this announcement on the 4th of March that 192,000 new jobs were created in February, but it's just more smoke and mirrors. It's just more fancy, creative Enron-type bookkeeping. Where are the jobs being produced? Are they in areas that will lead to products that will create sales, that will lead to more jobs and more productivity? Or is the government simply gone on another binge of hiring useless paper shufflers and more people over at the TSA to harass travelers and destroy what's left of our tourism? At some point, this idea of make work, that you can create jobs and restore an economy, by employing a nation of stamp putter-honors and inspectors and, make sure that everything's, watching each other. You can't prosper a nation constantly watching each other and doing each other's laundry. It's just an absolute, absolute joke here. Now, they're talking about $7 per gallon gas here in the United States of America. That may be scare tactic to get you to go along with invading and reconquering all the Mideast oil countries. What do you want? Cheap gas or human rights? It's up to you there. That's democracy in action. But I think where that's going to fail, if gas hits $7 per gallon, society's going to start breaking down. And it's not a case of deciding not to drive anymore. It's simply being unable to. When gas hits $7 per gallon, people with long commutes are simply not going to go to work anymore. They're not going to go to the malls anymore. They're not going to go, anywhere. They're going to just basically sit at home and only use the car the absolute minimum that they need, or go back to walking. Michael Moore, I may not agree with everything that he said, but he did something really cool, and the video is on the front page of what really happened. Apparently, late last night, he was sitting on his blog, and he started writing this explanation about how America really isn't broke. There's plenty of money. It's just not in the hands of the people. It's all been sucked out of the people and poured all over Wall Street to the tune so far of $12.3 trillion. And that's PBS's number. My estimate's a little bit higher, around $14 trillion. And Michael Moore's absolutely right. There's plenty of money to get our economy going again. It's just we have these money addicts who want it all and don't understand that when you don't leave enough money in society for society to operate, society will shut down. And then all the money is worthless. And that big fancy $100,000 wristwatch on your wrist won't mean anything other than as an aiming point for a very, very angry revolution. All righty, let's see. We're coming up on the end of this segment. We're going to take a commercial break here, and when we come back, Claire will be joining us to talk about her abusing at the hands of the